Falcon battle. And Dylan Hughes qualified 6th. JTP, excuse me. Remember, he had a 0 and incomplete on his first run. Let's see how he goes and throws it down. Dylan Hughes in that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes gets it outside zone, really well executed. Doesn't get to the second outside zone of the bridge. That allows Justin Pollock to gain that proximity right there. Does ball now takes the shower line. Dylan gets outside zone 3 transition. A late transition there by JTP. Both of them bring it around, little bumper tap there. So you saw Dylan get close to the outside.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Bing bong. There we go. Justin Pollock, Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang, Link Engine Management. Let's see what we got. Initiation by Justin Pollock. Quick little handbrake that is in the decel area as denoted by the judges. Under that second outside zone. Dylan Hughes off of that third outside zone, and here's Justin with the clean air. Really well executed, but I got, does it come down to that handbrake pull? I think that's O'Reilly Auto Parts, Permatex, BMW. He's got a 2JZ under the hood. He's got new tires. He teamed up with Falcon Tires for the year. And Masayama, that Buy Now Japan, Sylvia Sutin, comes now into view of the fans here in the building. Nice job on the outside zone. Masayama gripped up, kind of dove in. Dylan Hughes using all the course, hanging out on the outside zone 2. Phil's outside zone 3. Masayama a little shallow, needs to gain proximity, and there he does around that final clip. Really well done in the latter portion of the story. But early
on 1 or 2, and his transition was a little bit off. It was a little shaky looking. There was some bobbles.
Yeah, and if you're Masayama, you need to throw down. You got Dylan Hughes in your rearview mirror. Oh, look at that. Right there, just mimic each other on that initiation. Masayama almost gets all the way out there, and now look at that nasty transition by Masayama. Dylan Hughes, this is what you're talking about right there. Is this enough? Now it comes into that final inside clip.
Masayama.
Again, Dylan Hughes, he's ready to throw down as well. He said he got his first ever podium, and he had the Permatex livery. Right now he wants to do Royal Purple Proud, the official oil of Formula Drift. Matt Field with a nasty snap. Snap into it like a Slim Jim. Atta boy. Matt Field goes back, taps the bumper. He did it. That's the run you were looking for. 1, 2, 3 outside zones. Dylan Hughes pushes. Great driving there by Dylan and Matt Field. You asked for it, remember? Go for gold.
It's gonna have to.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan, what I'm thinking though, Matt Field is gonna be up his rear end here.
Yeah,
watch this. Matt Field initiates in tow of Dylan Hughes. Dylan, keeps it off the wall, pretty good distance. Dylan Hughes gets a little deep. Now let's see how he handles the final outside zone. Dylan Hughes, now he's stepping up. We talk about that X factor. Can they bring it?
Wow.
Matt Field really close. What I tell you, I think this is going to be a side-by-side. It's the replay. Position atop the hill. Who's going to put it down? And Dylan Hughes through that start chicane. Going across the nose of Mike Power and a Sylvia. Look at that. We see Dylan Hughes, big angle there. Mike kind of rolling into it. Didn't exactly just go. His rate to angle wasn't very quick from Power. Now, and a big correction there from Dylan Hughes. Oh man, he comes out of drift. That might have.
Yeah, that sounds mechanical.
Yeah, that's obviously mechanical. Maybe axle or power steering. But guess what? With that Royal Purple BMW. What's going on here? Did he? The light extinguished. Is Fetty dead on the line? So Dylan Hughes continues through the course. The side lap was completed. I know Fetty spin it a little bit better than he did in that chase run. So here we go with that Pennzoil 599 GTV. And here comes Federico initiating into the bank. Now Dylan Hughes can't play it too cool. Federico in that single turbo V12 Ferrari now coming slamming down in that first flip. Dylan Hughes, I think, going to play it a little bit cool, dial it back to about a 9, 9.5, because he does have that advantage of good markers, like you said, Ryan, really stand out, but unfortunately standing still is not what, but I'm sorry. We're trying to go, bro. Everybody's yelling at me. We're the messenger. Send it! Here we go. Travis Reeder, Dylan Hughes, the zaniest battle you've probably ever seen in Formula Drift history. Travis Reeder initiates into the bank. Dylan Hughes goes up into the wall, pulls up with great angle. No smoke, it's purely mist. Coming up the back end of their vehicles. GT Radio Falcon Tire splash zone is on. They're jumping in like a high dive into that clipping point 2. Now into outside zone 2. Coming in, look at that splash right there in the crease. The water's collecting there. Travis Reeder barely goes over it. Dylan Hughes in the proximity. Make him feel the love.
Wind and rain. They're going from dry to wet to patchy, back to wet, you know, after some dry. It's just wild.
Yeah, so here we go. Dylan Hughes initiates Travis Reeder right there. Look at these guys. I told you they'd be holding hands. Rain or shine, these guys are down for a good time. Dylan Hughes, Travis Reeder. Now coming into splash zone, boom, right into that first inside clipping point. Oh, Travis Reeder looks like he keeps that a little too far long. And Dylan Hughes pulls away. Now he goes into the splash crease. Oh, look at Reeder. He comes back, he fights back. Oh, and he straightens out. And it looks like no sight lapse. Dylan Hughes, Matt Field. Dylan Hughes is leading, Matt Field's giving chase. Dylan Hughes comes down now. Oh, we're losing bumpers. Dylan Hughes gives a little twitchy. Matt Field jumps to the side of him. We keep on partying, boys. Dylan Hughes, more angle, and Matt Field spins. Dylan Hughes keeps continuing on. And Dylan Hughes is Aquaman. As again, don't know where his trident is, but well done. Battered, bruised. Again, Matt Field just takes a licking and keeps on ticking. The beast from the Bay out front against the dozer that is King Neptune right now, harnessing the water energy. Matt Field up on the bank. Look at that, still not backing down. I said play it smart, but still being aggressive. Matt Field now coming down the bank, splashing down into that first interclip. Some break speed tap. That is a decel zone. That is allowed. That is to be expected. Now into that second inside clip. Matt Field goes into the crease. If Dylan Hughes keeps it settled, the dozer will be going to the finals. And it looks like Dylan Hughes will be getting the win. Dylan Hughes will lead. He out-qualified the 3-time champ. Will Dylan Hughes get his first ever win in the rain? Chris Forsberg got second in Atlanta. Can he better it here in these very wet conditions? Dylan Hughes initiates on the bank. Good angle from him and his royal purple BMW O'Reilly Auto Parts. As the windshield wipers are wiping, the Rain X is a-working. Now down into that first inner clip. Chris Forsberg chasing him down into that second inner clip. Forsberg keeping the composure. Dylan Hughes, great angle from him. Going to that second outside zone, into the crease with Dylan Hughes. Chris Forsberg right there in the highest horsepower, all new Nissan Z, the NOS Energy Z, chasing down the royal gladiators of them all, making some history. Let's send it for potentially the final time. Is this it? Are we going to get a winner? Chris Forsberg or Dylan Hughes? Chris Forsberg initiates in his NOS Energy drink. Nissan Z GT Rit. Look at Dylan Hughes, the proximity, the angle from Forsberg. Dylan Hughes chasing him down. You can see that brake light just barely kind of flickering on the wall. Coming down to that first inside clip. Transition. Nice job by Dylan Hughes into the second inside clip. Are we going to go one more time? Oh, Dylan Hughes does take out that inside clip. Chris Forsberg gets to the crease, does exceed it just a little bit. Now come and bring it along across the finish line. Forsberg or Hughes? What do you guys think?
The win in round 3, the overall win in Orlando. Let's see how this fast orange Permatex BMW handles here in New Jersey as Dan Burkett comes in hot. Dylan Hughes stays in it. Yo, look at that, door to door. And look at the Falcon tires keep going around. Dylan Hughes, like I said, just a lot of confidence here for the dozer. He gets a little doze here. Wheel to wheel, look at Dan Burkett. Woo! And he's watching Japan, and he's watching Formula Drift right now. So shout out to my boy Mad Mike and our homeboy. Here we go, Dan Burkett, Rat Industries, gear wrench, comes on in. Big swing there, and you talk about Dan Burkett, Ryan, and here he is, back in it. Great job by Dan Burkett. Dylan Hughes again, right there, banging on his door. Woo, look at this. Well done by Dan Burkett. Dylan Hughes, one more outside zone. Is there a blaring winner? This is the one more time battle. So again, this is all fresh. Here we go, Dylan Hughes, Dan Burkett. We saw a great battle between these two gentlemen, and we'll see if we see it again, or is somebody gonna stand out and rise to the occasion. And Dylan Hughes, looks like Dan Burkett jumps in on the inside a little too aggressive. You saw him exceed those front wheels, but Dan Burkett now, he looks like he's making Dylan maybe crack under pressure, but Dylan Hughes transitions back in that final outside zone. And man, it looks like these guys are up at Willow Springs going out front. Let's see what Dan Burkett's got out front. But I feel like Dylan, his posture, his confidence coming out of Orlando, give himself a little bit of room there, but is that too much? And boom, goes in the side of him. But this is almost like what we saw in the first battle, where Dan went, and as you called him, a backstop, Dylan the backstop, but right now the Dozer living up to his name in that final outside zone. Looks like he stays in it. Has definitely brought him some luck. His mom said, get rid of the red. He's going for those neon colors. Here we go. Well, speaking of neon, the Type S lights are on underneath the vehicles. Here comes Dylan the Dozer Hughes into that first outside zone. Rome Charpentier, he attacks, gets to the side. So you got kind of an E46 and an E36 into that second outside zone. Dylan Hughes qualifying third yesterday, now here in the competition. Comes in that final outside zone. Dylan Hughes using all of the course. But Rome Charpentier, the second half of this battle. Here's Rome Charpentier, Dylan Hughes. Come on, boys. Who's gonna rise to the occasion? Rome Charpentier, I feel like this is the changing of the guard. These new breed drifters, these young cats who are going for championship. Oh boy, look at that. So as you see, Rome Charpentier, Dylan Hughes, like I said, confidence in his corner. Look at the maxed out angle from Rome Charpentier. Let's see the transition into our final outside zone. How do they handle it? Rome goes and digs deep. Oh my gosh, how many? And here comes Dylan Hughes into that first outside zone. Look at Dylan using all of the course. Ole Jaeger not as deep as Hughes now into that second outside zone. You can see Dylan thrashing into that second outside zone, flowing. You talked about this yesterday, going 2 to 4. 3 just happens to be there. Oh man, but he goes really deep. It's that final outside zone.
Dylan does have some big opportunities in the chase here. He needs to stick it to Ula's door.
Big deep breath for Dylan Hughes. Ole Jaeger needs to throw down a gangster line. He knows he's going against Dylan Hughes, who did get the victory in a very wet Orlando. Now into that second outside zone goes Ole Jaeger, and Dylan Hughes at this point needs to be a little bit closer. And Ole Jaeger looks like he's filling all those outside zones. Dylan Hughes goes for the attack on that last outside zone, and he does a very similar line to what he did in the lead position. There's more rounds, there's more competition, there's more tires to be burned. Dylan Hughes will lead. Royal Purple, Riley Auto Parts, Falcon Tire, BMW. Got the 2J under the hood, the LS of Rome Charpentier trying to give that modern hell, as his wing says. Now in the second outside zone, Dylan Hughes does a good job. Rome Charpentier, you can see him nice and close. Has to back off just a little bit. And now into that last and final outside zone. Does get those tires into that and beyond that last outside zone. For Rome. The final bracket, that bracket of death is being branded, the Turk and Osbo battle. That's up next. Okay, Rome Charpentier going across the nose of Hughes, and Hughes tucks in really tight. Wow, doctor, look at that. Now into that second outside zone. Rome really deep in that second outside zone, but cannot shake Dylan Hughes. Now Dylan transitions into that last outside zone. That was a good move. I want to see that overhead perspective. It looks fantastic. It looks like a little BMWs, one 2J powered, one LS powered, and one moving on. Who's going against Ryan Turk in the Great Eights? Hughes or Charpentier? Approaching that second outside zone. Good proximity by Rome in that chase position. Dylan Hughes using all the course. Dylan going a little bit deeper. Good fluid line. A little shimmy to get into that second outside zone, or excuse me, third outside zone. And then finally, Rome, good proximity. Wasn't as deep, but good in the pocket. Almost had a less chaotic chase run there. It seemed just a little smoother, and that just comes with experience, knowing who you're going against, and you're just calming the nerves. And now Rome, aggressive flip, but Dylan Hughes quickly gets to the side. of that E36. It looks like Dylan not as aggressive as well. So it looks like they learned something from that first battle. And remember, Dylan was really aggressive on the outside zone 4. Let's see how he handles this. Looks like he lets him go. And then, oh boy.
Rome was off the track and starting to spin, and Dylan was right there. That's my initial.
That's when he got that win. And right now, here we go. We got Dylan Hughes out front, Ryan Turk. Dylan Hughes qualifying 3rd. And look at that right there. Look at Ryan Turk banging on the door of the dozer. Now to the second outside zone. Dylan Hughes brings it all the way out, allowing Ryan Turk with that proximity, that angle, that hot hatchback. Let's see if he gives him room to pass, and he does. Was it enough, or was it too much? Excuse me. And in that final outside zone, you saw how close he was. It looks like he was going to just nick the nose. Kind of get my wires crossed there as far as just what's going on, where the story's going. So
a lot of different events
choose your own adventure. Yeah, a lot of different scenarios here. As Ryan Turk looks like he transitions, but Dylan Hughes knows who he's going against. He's got to apply the pressure. Both these guys have podiums. Look at that fender flapping in the wind. Now into that second outside zone, approaching the 3rd outside zone. Ryan Turk in that Rain-X Toyota GR Corolla into that final outside zone. Dylan Hughes, watch this, he's going to drop in and spins out. And that will just really seal on the flavor. Powered Royal Purple Falcon Tires, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Dylan Hughes Racing, BMW. Here we go. Dylan Hughes out front, who qualified 5th yesterday. A great showing for him. Initiates high on the bank. Simon Olsen. He's going to need to mimic that angle. He does get close. That great carbon Kevlar HGK kitted Supra, big angle from Dylan, almost going the outside of the track. That would be essentially be like kind of a deduction, not an incomplete. Simon, you can see him kind of clamoring, lunging forward, but needs to mimic that angle. Gets close there, I like that towards the latter portion, but just a little. Some great insight there from Ryan Lontaine. If you're just tuning in, we are not even halfway through our top 32. Here goes Simon Olsen. Again, from Norway in that 2JZ powered Toyota Supra, the all-new Supra. Dylan Hughes, you can see him kind of kick back a little bit, and now he comes up. Simon Olsen, great job right now. Let's see what we got here coming to that power alley. Throw some more angle at it. Dylan Hughes into that 3rd outside zone. Looks like Simon Olsen definitely got some confidence in between that. Oh, boingo!
Wow.
Wow, bing bong, there we go. Dylan Hughes jumps up. He's getting that car just tight and right with every turn and burn, but Dylan Hughes, a win in Orlando. Can he do it again here in Seattle? This is his home track. The Royal Purple Falcon Tires, O'Reilly Auto Parts, BMW, big angle from him, high on the bank. Castro, great proximity. Both of them kind of wavering. Castro, great proximity by Castro. Coming down into the power alley. Both of them filling that second outside zone. Castro dives in on the inside. Not the proper line by Castro, unfortunately, but he still holds on that proximity. A good job. That composure there, you really always exciting, but at the same time you're working through, you know, some things going here, but we know Castro is very capable. He's a very capable driver. Here we go. Trudeau Meteldom, Toyota GR86, big angle there. Dylan Hughes looks like kind of pedals back, but now gets closer. Look at how settled that car is from Castro. It looks so good. And now into that second outside zone. Here comes Dylan Hughes. He takes that nice approach into that 3rd outside zone. Wow. Wow, look at that diving in on that inside clip. And then that final outside zone, that overhead view, really highlighting Matt Field out front. Dylan Hughes in the chase position. The beast from the Bay versus the dozer. Field versus Hughes. Let's see how we go into that first outside zone. Matt Field, big angle from him. Keeping it precise, good proximity by Dylan Hughes. Needs to mimic the angle a little bit more concise. Now in that 3rd outside zone, there goes Hughes diving in on the side of Matt Field. Now transitioning into that final outside zone, working on it. Oh, look at Hughes going deep there. Dylan Hughes out front. Keep in mind, Dylan Hughes sitting 5th in points. Matt Field, as we said, he's got the lead. Dylan Hughes, Royal Purple. Oh, buddy! Wow, Matt Field flirting with the side of that BMW, the Royal Purple O'Reilly Auto Parts Falcon Tires, BMW. Now coming into that power alley, how is Matt Field going to handle this? Into that 3rd outside zone. You can see Field dropping a formation. Big angle there from Dylan Hughes. Coming to that final outside zone. Hughes and Field. Wow. Dylan Hughes qualifying 5th. Fairly equally matched battle. And here we go. Matt Field. That Falcon Tire Corvette into that first outside zone. Dylan Hughes right there, the dozer. Pushing the Beast of the Bay into that second outside zone. Through that power alley, good transition from Field and Hughes. And past that inside clip, great transition. And now, oh my goodness! The composure of Hughes right there. That was so well.
Just as well as Hughes does in the lead. So they both have opportunities here in their respective criteria.
Dylan Hughes, Matt Field, let's see how they handle this. The Falcon tires wrapped around those Forged Star wheels for both the drivers. Dylan Hughes, this is his home track, Evergreen Speedway. And he wants to get the win here, but Matt Field has not got a win this year. Here he goes, transition to outside zone 3. Fairly similar to what Dylan Hughes did in that chase position at first glance. Now transitioning, Matt Field drops in at formation. Whoa! Yo! And here we go, let's send it. Matt Field, Dylan Hughes, the dozer, the Beast of the Bay, gets the jump. Another one more time battle, shimmy shake into that big outside zone. We've seen some amazing driving so far, and look at that, the Vortex Supercharged Corvette of Matt Field comes on in. This is Dylan Hughes' house. He grew up cutting his teeth here and burning up tires. That sun coming into play, shining a light on him. It's that final outside zone, and Dylan Hughes gets into formation, gets deep, the 129. Stick with it and grind away here with your own man versus machine and synchronicity, and going against another man and machine versus the track. Here we go, Dylan Hughes. Whoa! Matt Field jumps to the side of, oh no! Matt Field spins and Dylan Hughes continues on. He does need to continue, and if he finishes it out, Dylan Hughes is going to the final 4. Comes around, oh, buddy! Ryan, the question lies, here we go, Dylan Hughes will lead. Dylan Hughes qualified second. Great qualifying for him in this fast orange Permatex BMW E46. Here we go into that first inside clip and see how he handles it. Trent Beecham, little wide swing into the first inside clip, now to that second outside zone. Approaching the second inside, ooh, Trent Beecham aggressive. Get to the side of Dylan Hughes. Trent Beecham qualifying 31st, but man, he's looking like he qualified first right now. Beecham has the proximity, great proximity from Beecham, flirting with the side of that BMW. Ever been part of in Orlando. Lightning striking, we had to bail out of the bleachers a couple times. We saw torrential rain, it was insane, but right now, they're gonna make it rain some tire debris. Here we go, Trent Beecham throws in 102 out front, and Trent Beecham dials it in that first clip. Here comes Dylan Hughes, surging an attack, but Trent Beecham, I'll tell you what, this looks like a total different Beecham from what we saw in qualifying to now when it goes to head-to-head. Coming to that outside zone, you can see Trent Beecham started really strong in that outside zone. Let's get that aerial view. I think that's going to be a good opportunity. Wins in New Jersey just before that. Dylan Hughes wins in Orlando, the wet and wild. So Dylan, the dozer Hughes, Permatex, fast orange, Falcon tires, BMW initiates into that first inside clip. Travis Reeder, this should be a really good one. Let's make some noise for these two guys. Coming to that second outside zone. Travis Reeder gets to the door of Dylan Hughes, pushing around the dozer himself. Travis Reeder goes, oh, he tries, it looks like he got lost in the smoke. Dylan Hughes continues on through the course. This being in the chase position at an advantage, you know, just knowing these guys, you want to win in an honorable fashion. I don't think he's going to have, you know, the most aggressive run, but if I'm him, pedal back, put on a good show, but take into consideration you do have that advantage. But Reeder, he has nothing to lose. He's going to let it all hang out. Travis Reeder comes into that second inside clip. Dylan Hughes just barely nicks it. Now coming to that last outside zone. Here goes Reeder. Reeder gets into that last outside zone. And like I said, I think that's a fair, honest approach. Gucci will give chase. Gucci can't leave before the lights extinguish. See if we've got a clean start. Everything's saying that we do. Here we go. Well, look at that, tip to tail. 103, 103 miles per hour on initiation. Going past that first inside clip, swinging into that first outside zone, into the second.
Again, that drone gives just all the truth telling. Can Gucci be transparent about just being comfortable on the track? Now in that last outside zone, nice job by Dylan Hughes using all the track. Just barely hitting that gravel towards that finish line, but that was really well. Dylan Hughes giving chase. What does Ken Gucci have for Dylan Hughes out front, and what does Dylan have for the Goosh? See this initiation, initiating 100 miles per hour. Past that inside clip, well done. Good execution by Gucci out front. Transitioning out. And oh, there we go. More contact. That gosh dang smoke signal. So contact was made. Oh, smoke signal. All right, we'll see who comes out on top. The Ole Jaeger and Dylan Hughes battle. Dylan the Dozer Hughes, winner in Orlando. Ole Jaeger, the Japan Auto Mark IV Toyota Supra. Dylan Hughes, he's got the 2J, so he's got the heart of the Supra underneath the hood of his royal purple BMW. Coming to that second outside zone. He is dialed. Ooh, Ole Jaeger having some struggles in that chase position. See, he's fighting the car. Now Dylan Hughes wraps around that second inside, and bingo. Puts it
and not make any major mistakes that would be considered an incomplete, and he should be able to move on here without that any mistake from him.
All right, so let's see how this unfolds. Ole Jaeger, Japan Auto. Ooh, and Dylan, you talk about doing these right things, and it seems like got a little nervous there on initiation. That might have been caused by Jaeger in the lead position. A quick little transition there by Dylan Hughes. He's not exactly as tight and right as we'd like to see. I don't think this dictates. Oh, there goes the Ula. That's just going to solidify it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, not as concise as Dylan Hughes.